I continue asking the question, can a saved person ever be lost? Can a saved person be saved today and then lose their salvation? Now, when I make that statement, immediately the matter of faith and works come up. The last several days I've been dealing on the Bright Spot Hour with the matter of faith. What is faith? How is faith developed? How does a believer cultivate the matter of faith? You'll not go very far in arguing over can a saved person ever be lost until you arrive at this matter of faith and works. And what is the relationship of the one to the other? And what is the relationship of both of these to the matter of the salvation of the soul? We hear a great deal about faith and works. Some say that we are saved by faith alone. Others make a great deal of the area of works. Some individuals say that both are necessary to salvation for the same reason that a bird cannot fly without two wings, or that you can't make any progress in a boat without two oars. When men begin discussing the matter of faith and works, the one will quote from Romans 3:28, the Apostle Paul, that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Immediately, the other man will quote from James in James 2:24, ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. But the Apostle James, in my estimation, is not speaking about the doctrine of justification at all. When he makes the statement in James 2:24, you see then how that a man is justified by works. I think that James is discussing the matter of justification before men. And there's an illustration that is given by James concerning the matter of Abraham, and Abraham offering up his son Isaac. You see, Abraham was a man of faith, but the only way he could make a visible expression of invisible faith to men was by his works. The unregenerated men of Abraham's day, they heard Abraham say that he believed God, and they heard these things, but they had no way to confirm that what Abraham was doing was really by faith, except he manifested his faith by works. Now, that is, we saw on the program yesterday and the day before in Hebrews 1:11:1, that the definition of faith, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is invisible, and faith believes in invisible things. Now, I'm standing in our new studio, and we've been in this building now about a year, and there was a day when all the construction work was going on, and I was looking forward by faith. I was looking forward to getting in to the new studio and beginning to record. This building was damaged in 2010, and for 10 years we didn't use it. For 10 years my studio was a makeshift studio in my late dad's office. And after 10 years we got the building moved and did the remodel, and by faith I anticipated moving into the new studio. Well, I'm in the new studio now, and it doesn't require any faith for me to believe that I'm standing in this new studio. It requires no faith at all. My faith has now given way to sight. So the definition of faith, Hebrews 11:1, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Both things hoped for and things not seen are not yet a reality in the life of the individual. I'm hoping for it. Now, my wife and I have been married for 37 years, and we're now working in the 38th year of our marriage, and I'm not hoping to be married. I've been married a long time. But there was a time before my wedding date that I had anticipation. I was hoping to be married. And my faith gave way to sight when my grandfather who married us said, I now pronounce you man and wife, you may now kiss the bride. And I had anticipation about setting up housekeeping and having a wife and a home, and all of that. Faith gave way to sight. Then I had hope about having children, and by faith, and then my children were born, and faith gave way to sight, and then later grandchildren, and now that I have those, faith gave way to sight, you see. Now, Abraham was a man of faith. The Bible declares that. But the only way that Abraham could manifest his faith to the unbelieving crowd around him of his generation was by his works. Now, because Abraham had works, does that mean that he had faith? Not necessarily. He was manifesting faith he already had by works, but I would not say that everyone that has works has faith. There's some people trying to work their way to heaven because they have no faith. And I think that there are some people that have no works, but they truly do have faith. That's why the apostle warns the believer to judge nothing before the time. Because God will bring to light the hidden things of darkness. God will manifest in that day the hidden things of darkness, things that you and I are not able to see. Genesis 22 verses 1 and 2, Abraham's works had nothing to do with his salvation. His works simply bore witness to his faith, because the Bible declares, for Abraham believed God, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. In another place we read, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed to him for righteousness. James 2:21 down through verse number 26. So great was Abraham's faith in God's promise as to Isaac being the one through whom the promised seed was to come, that he believed that if he offered him up as God had commanded him, that God would miraculously raise him from the dead. In Hebrews 11, we go back there, the definition of faith. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And we read down through Hebrews 11, down to verse 17, and we read about the man Abraham, when we read about Abraham's faith, and the fact that Abraham accounted that God was able to raise Isaac from the dead if Abraham, by faith, slew his son Isaac. You know, in the same manner, Rahab's faith was justified or simply visible by her works when she tied the scarlet cord out of her window. You can read in Joshua chapter 2, verses 15 through 21. And the men, she said, I believe God. I believe what I have heard. I believe that God opened up the Red Sea, that you crossed on dry land. I believe all that I have heard. And the men said, and she said, I want to be saved alive. And the men said, bind this line of scarlet, this rope, out of the window, and whenever we come into the land, you and everyone in your house will be preserved alive. Now, to show the relationship of works to faith, the apostle ends by saying, for as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. That is, it is dead faith. Now, I've dealt with this in days gone by on the Bright Spot Hour, and I think it bears repeating now. But I do sincerely believe that dead faith is real faith. The only person in the catalog I find in the Bible concerning the matter of faith that has no faith is where the Bible distinctly says that. They have no faith. Dead faith is real faith. If you don't believe dead faith is real faith, do you believe a dead body is a real body? If you don't believe that, let's keep that dead body out for a while and not embalm it, and about 24 hours after death, you and everybody downwind of that dead body will know that a dead body is a real body because of the stench, the real stench of that dead body that everybody is inhaling and everyone is smelling. Without question, dead faith is real faith. But just like a dead body, though a dead body is a real body, nobody would deny that. That's why we embalm our dead. We bury our dead out of the way. That's why we do that, because the body certainly is real. But a dead body is of no advantage. A dead body is not productive. My grandfather, after he died, never preached another sermon. My dad, after he died, my dad died back in '06. 11 years, almost to the day, 11 years after my grandfather died, my dad passed away. My dad never listed another piece of real estate. He never signed another contract. He never cleared another piece of land. He never developed another subdivision. After my dad died, his productivity ended. Now, I know where my dad's body is, and I know what the casket looks like that his body is in, and I could find his body. In fact, I could dig his body up. I'm not going to do that, but I could dig his body up. I know where my dad is buried. But if I dug up my dad's body and brought him back and sat him in his office, there's no work that would be done, because his body is dead. And so it is with the matter of dead faith. I do believe that there are people, saved people, that have faith. Yes, indeed, they have faith. Man is justified by faith. But their faith is dead faith. And it's just like a dead body. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. Also, dead faith does not produce. Dead faith does not make visible a man's works. If I dug up my grandfather and brought him back, he couldn't bring a sermon on the Bright Spot Hour. I could put his body in the Bright Spot Hour building, but he would never stand at this radio mic and take another text. He'll not do that until the resurrection and he gets a glorified body. And so with my dad. There is no production, there's no work, there is no advantage in a dead body. For if a man does not make his faith visible by his works, then there are people that could legitimately question, does he have faith at all? Well, I have wondered that about some men and a few women, and I see no evidence, outward evidence of faith. Now, do I say all of them are lost? No. I'm not going to take the liberty and say, well, because I can't see any evidence, then I'm going to consign the man to hell. I'm not going to do that. But I do question whether or not the man or woman know the Lord, because there is no outworking of their faith in the area of works.
Write Dr. Carper at Post Office Box 4, Greenville, South Carolina 29602. This is